But now I might be mistaken. Welcome to the weekly live stream. This is the Mythruna weekly live stream. If you are here by mistake, welcome anyway. Hang around. We're going to put a bird in the game, I think. So I guess that's one way to flip the bird. But yes, it's in a weird mood because it's Friday before a long weekend. And without further ado, let's get started. Down there at the bottom of the screen, you can see the link to get the last version of the engine, which was released about the beginning of July, I guess. Should have another one coming in a couple weeks, I hope. We'll see as I wrap these things up that I've got working. Before we get too far, let's thank the patrons, because they are the things that keep the wheels greased and the gears turning and so on and so forth. So thanks, guys. One of these days, maybe I'll do like a little animated credits roll or something instead of just showing a big static screen. And let's go ahead and get started. Oh, there's me. I sometimes forget that I've got the camera hooked up. Yeah, you see my gray beard. So yes, it's going to be we're going to mess with the bird. What do we got going on? Yeah, so I redid the UVs and I painted him. And so now he looks very much bird-like, like a cardinal. There's probably 100 things that still need to be tweaked. In fact, I'm going to real quickly reload the image because I've updated it a few times. Yeah, so in Blender, it shows black where I've got transparency. I probably just have the checkbox turned off because I think it did weird things. But anyway, but so that's what he looks like, and he's painted and so on and so forth. So let's just make sure. Yeah, so let's get him in the game. We animated him last week, so that's good. Since things will be visible, I'll go ahead and pull this out. The other thing I was working on, so just a little bit of the engine progress. I've been working on, the new inventory system, kind of setting it up to be more, like I kind of hacked it all together before from the old code from the old Mythruna and had refactored out the drag and drop stuff for Lemur, my open source UI toolkit. And anyway, some stuff was left undone. Oh, I didn't realize the music played. So I've got I wanted to see what small containers would look like, and I've been working on the size of things. So the next thing for me is to be able to drag and drop the tools. These are using the real inventory structures and things, but see, this is this little bag here, and I've got that open, and you can see that. And so I was trying to see, add-on bags, how big they would be inside versus here, and I kind of like the ratio. It's, 9 slots here, but you've got actually, 15 slots inside, and I think that's okay. It's because the algorithm that automatically calculates the interior of things is more generous with space than the algorithm that calculates the outside of things. And originally the idea was that these containers would actually be in your inventory like this, but I think I prefer to have them open and close because then that has the idea of lockable things that you don't have the key for yet, and so on and so forth. Anyway, lots of things coming up. And so once I did this, I wanted to see, this big backpack and this little pouch. This is supposed to be a belt pouch, right? So then I wanted to see what it looked like on the character, and so I quickly hacked some scripts together to attach that to Fade, and so we'll see what that looks like. And I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm happy with all of the sizes and how they relate to one another. And so even if this won't be in the game necessarily right away, I know that I can add it and that players will eventually be able to construct, belt pouches and bandoliers and things like that, and I'll know how to calculate their interior spaces for inventory. So let's take a look at the belt pouches on fade. Not exactly where they're supposed to be, but I kind of like quickly added some attachment points to her, and there's always, you know, mountains of tweaking that come along with that. But so let's do this really quick. Yeah, so that we're loading fast now. So hopefully y'all had a good week. Played some good games. Did some creative efforts. Were successful. That sort of thing. Okay, come on. There we go. Just want to pause. Okay, so let's go back over to the library for a second, because that's where I've... the library is where I put, you know, my little test objects. So we've got a backpack on the ground. This is the belt pouch next to the backpack, which is pretty good. And so then I quickly hacked some attachment points. You can see she's got 2 attached to her belt because we're looking through her body right there. But the easiest way to see it is through the character screen. And you can see. So they're a pretty good size. And so these would be, you know, 15 inventory slots each. So, you know, that'll hold like 15 gem stacks or different coins or things like that. A slot is, it varies, but in 2D it's about 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and how deep that slot is in 3D space varies depending on, you know, the object and the things. So, hey Oak, how's it going? What are we playing tonight, Oak? And so anyway, eventually these won't be like hard attachment points here, but they'll be based on the belt you're wearing and stuff when that system's in place. Good afternoon. Good evening. So anyway, I think the pouches are a pretty good size, and so I'm happy with that, and so I can proceed with the Medieval Dynasty. Yes. So I can proceed with, you know, the other things, and I know that that part's working at least. So we got that good. All right. So now let's get to getting the bird in the game. And so I've already exported the GLTF. We saw that I was able to load the rig last time. And so this loads quick, so we no problems here. And so now I need to add the things that Mythruna will need in order to load this as a character. Yeah, so we got the little dude hopping around. So there's our little guy in his animation pose. His idle pose, which I'm going to have to add some more frames to and do some things, but it's pretty good. Alright, so we need to give him like the body shapes that sort of define the parts of him that are collidable. You know, we're going to need stuff for the feet, stuff for the wings, so that they can actually like collide with things. But I got to keep it minimal. But at minimum, I think every rig needs at minimum. Oh, I also got to scale him appropriately. So every rig will need a head top, right? Head top for where they display the text in the center of mass, a comm. But I think, oh, that's for the attachments. Yeah, so for attachments and then colliders, it doesn't really matter. We just need a sort of a minimal thing. But I need to, I'm just going to take a screenshot so I remember. But I'm going to look at the humans and see. I may add, careful, nudity warning. I haven't figured out how to put clothes back on her. Something I did to the model broke in the rigger tool. None of the characters can have their clothes loaded properly, and I can't paint on them. I mean, I can do it in the game, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, so she has eye, back, hand right, so yeah, so the back is for the backpack, hand right and left, and then the hip is the one I just added. I need to make hip ones for the other side, but so head, top, and and eye. I don't think I need eye. I may add I want birds potentially to be rideable someday, you know, giant birds, so I may add a saddle point, but and okay, so she needs a bunch of Alright, the bird needs a bunch of colliders. So let's load the bird. And we will make a new attachment. We will call this the head top. And I named things in such a way that I should be able to find the head, but I guess the head got like, yeah, just the spine. Hey, neat. It's a busy little head there you got there, buddy. Alright, I probably want default. Hey, there we go. Just the frozen pose. Okay, so that is probably not where we want that to be. Oh, it will need an eye too if it ever wants to see. I should have looked at the Gafen. The Gafen has like the minimum stuff. So I think we'll want the head top to be up here. And maybe back a little bit. And more up. Actually, where was the... There's like the crest on the top of his head that has its own... I mean... I thought... Anyway, whatever. This is good enough. And then we will pitch it down a little bit. The idea being that we want it to kind of sit on the top of his head. And actually, because he's got the tuft, I need to raise it up a little bit more maybe. And then... yeah. Otherwise, the text will appear inside his little plumy tuft thing. Okay, so we'll make a new one. This one we will call I. I. And it's already almost at the eye. And so we will pitch that down. How far did we pitch this down? 37, so let's just do 37 and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's about right. So back it off a little bit maybe. Just trying to think which way is he looking. Let's like say he's looking down his beak, even though he's really looking to either side, you know. Birds like are looking to the side, so that's good. Let's move it up a little bit. I mean out a little bit. Oh yeah. Boink, and then down a little bit. Down, down, down. Alright, that's pretty good for an eye. Now we need a center of mass. These are like critical things. I can't remember, what do we use the center of mass for? It's important for something. The top of the head I think is the one that's critical. So the center of mass, we'll look maybe ribs. Or, yeah, ribs or spine 1. Yeah, that's spine 2. Yeah, somewhere around spine 2 looks good. Just near the center of the wings. Right, because spine 3 is up front. Oh, interesting. Spine 3 is up there, spine 4 way back there. I really should have named the spines better. Yeah, so they alternate. That's unfortunate. But spine 2 is pretty good. I think ribs is too far forward. Or maybe it's just at a weird angle. And then there's one other one. I think spine 2 is where we'll start. And then we will see. Blue is Y. Oh, maybe not. Oh, blue is Z. Interesting. Okay, and that's putting back in the idle position for a second. Yeah, so... Ooh. Yeah. That looks like a pretty good center of mass. Let's see the other poses. Standing. Yeah. It's looking pretty good. You see what I'm talking about? This little cross that I've got in here, I'm moving it to so that point is sort of representative of the center of gravity. Yeah, that's about right. I think the wing balance point should be right about there, maybe a little bit more forward. So we could, oops, run a little bit more forward. Okay, so it's got a center of mass. Now we need to add shapes for its like actual body and stuff. The colliders. So these don't have names. Oh, I had a body. Would that have been better for the center of mass? Body. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I like that as the center of mass, actually. It's also oriented in a more logical way. Okay, so we'll make the body and the center of mass the same. That's cool. So this one we will want... I like to give at least one or two simple shapes. And so we will make a... So the problem is I did not put the root under the feet. But we're going to need at least a root to keep him up off the ground when he's standing. I need to have a standing pose that doesn't move into the... Oh, and because he bops around, this is not an appropriate attachment point. I mean, not an appropriate joint to attach it to. So maybe body really was the best. Or we, yeah, because there's no center feet. Did I make a pelvis? Oops. Yeah, pelvis left, pelvis right. I don't have a center. Pelvis left. Pelvis right. Yeah, so they're both there. And then spine. You know what though? Birds don't walk around. They hop around. So I think I have to use root. Because that's the only, because that's basically, this is the physical connection that's going to keep him from falling while he's doing his little hops. Hard to explain. Maybe, oops. Oh boy. What did I screwed something up here. I think this is supposed to be 0. Okay. I'm supposed to be messing with this down here. Maybe I'll just close attachments so I don't get confused. Alright, so, oops. The Z is where we want to come up. Wolves suck. They are too fast to be that good at hunting. Nice. So didn't I just talk myself out of doing this? I think I did. So let's make the body, the big sphere that's the body. So we want ribs, maybe? Nope. We want body. And we will move it along the green, which I think is Y. Yeah. And we will make you big, because we want that to encapsulate, basically the main section of the body. So these simplified collision shapes are meant to just kind of loosely approximate the body. And actually this will be good because if we wanted it rideable, that's just about, let me shrink it just a little. Yeah, okay. So it could be rideable. Alright, now let's give one for the head. And since I don't have a head, spine 5. Actually, that's not bad. He's looking around. I just think that's cool. Okay, so put that in the center of his head. Make it bigger. Maybe move it down a little bit. Yeah, he's got a head now. So that means like if he bumps into something, it'll actually, hit his head. And so then the next thing we need is in the default pose, I need to give him some colliders for his wings. At least the tips. And so we'll make a new joint. That way if he flies into something, he knows. What do I call him? Wing lower. What's the difference between wing lower left and wing upper left? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, because it's one big spine. Okay, cool. So wing lower left, and then the other one is the one that, this one's, oh, no, that's good. All right, I think I'm going to use the other one, though. Okay. And we want it to be a box. We want it to be a big flat box. So I think we've only got, I don't think I have any flat boxes. 2 by 3, 2 by 4 by 1. That's the one. That's the one. It's good enough. All right, and so we will center it within the wing-a-ding structure there. I will rotate it a little bit. Oh, wrong way. That must be roll then. No, down the red. Wait. That's the green. The green is the Y. Around the Y is yaw. Okay. So just angle it with the wing a little bit better. Okay. And scale it up a bit. That's probably good. Then we want to make another one for the other side. So this one would be wing lower right. And we otherwise want all the settings to be the same. I really need to make like a copy. So we want this. And what did I make the scale? The scale is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. The minus 0.75. It should be, oh, and we're all backwards here. That may be why that wing doesn't behave correctly, because its base rotation is backwards. So this will be interesting. So this started at 180. Okay. And then, yeah, so that's, oh, okay, so let's do minus 180. Because now I need to back it off a little bit. And, oops. Run it down so that it's centered. That's pretty good. It's good enough for today. Alright, now we need some feet. We definitely need feet because I don't have a landing place there for the main body like I do in the other characters. So this would be... Did I call them foot? I call them toes. Talon left. What's the difference between the talon and the thumb? Oh, the thumb's up here. Yeah, okay. Nice. So talon left, that's the back of the... And then there's the lower leg. Lower leg left. Yeah. Let's do that. Because this is the part that will... This is the part that communicates with this. And so if we run this down, what is it, Y? Yeah. And so now we've got, we want to back it off just slightly. You really got to make sure that it doesn't hit the ground. Well, I guess it's not so important here. With the regular characters, you have to be sure that the standing pose doesn't hit the ground because it'll affect the friction when they're walking around. Like the animations will dip through the ground and so on. And so this one, we want another sphere, that's fine. We want lower leg right, yep. And then we want Y 0.7. Alright, so it's got feet. Let's save the rig before we screw something up. And so then if I pull it into the walk pose, he's bouncing. His feet should not... Yep, okay, cool. So he can collide into the ground without like falling through and riding around on his belly. Okay, so I think we've got... I probably should put one on the tail. But for now, I think this is good. I think I've wasted like half an hour adding stuff to the thing. But let's just double check. Jog. Yep, his legs go up, so they're not bothering anything. This kind of does weird things, so I might have to readjust where his body is. That's this one, right? Maybe that should be associated with the spine. The joint, so let's try the root spine. Yeah. So that's probably better. And it's already adjusted correctly mostly. I think whatever the, is it the green? Okay, we want him more like this. Okay. And so then let's check and see what that looks like back in the walk cycle. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good actually. And standing, it's good. It's in a good place. And default, yeah. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Maybe shrink it a little bit. And run it forward a little bit more. Yeah. always a balancing act. Okay. Yeah. When it was bigger, it covered more of the body at this position. Anyway, I'm getting wrapped around the axle. This is more than enough to get him working. So we will compile the binary. And that should have stuck it in a good place. Source, main, resources, animals, bird. Oh. I think I have his target set up oddly. Bird, reload. Yeah, because we're getting it out of animals, birds. I think I want to stick it into animals, birds. Let's just see. Source. I'm like not used to typing now. Animals. So I guess the see, I've already got the dog in there, and yeah, there'll be like other images. So let's make it go into birds. And the other thing is butterfly rescales, and I think we want... What is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, eventually we're going to want one of those too. So let's look at how the butterfly rig does it. Butterfly rig has a rescale. Does PBR to local lighting, and does the butterfly post proc. But the bird, I don't think we need. Maybe we do need to do the post proc. Let's look up the bird stuff. So butterfly rescale. Oh, it also sets the skin name, which is going to be important too. So let's make a bird rescale. Models, animals. Wait. Oh, we don't have a bird set up yet. So just call it bird. And we'll call it bird rescale.groovy. And so find the armature. Set the scale to 0.2. That's maybe too small. We make the butterflies 0.2. Let's make the birds twice as big. Yeah, I mean that's from the male. Those are from the people. Okay, so we want to rename all of its materials so that they're skin. And then the butterfly has a post proc. What does the post proc do? Oh, that's to convert to the atlas, which we will want to do, but not yet. If we have time, I'm going to set the atlas up as well, so the bird can have different skins. All right, so we need him to have this in the bird rig. Bird rescale.groovy. PBR to local lighting, yes, local lighting. And a different target directory, and so I will remove animals bird1.rig. And what is bird combined.png? That was made a long time ago, so that's some. Oh, that's the Gaphin. Yeah, Yeah, and so far the butterfly wasn't even really wild yet. I mean, it could get crazy. I could technically use the skinning to turn the butterfly into a dragonfly, for example. It's just the animations would look wrong. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out doing the female cardinal, a robin. Although I think I will do a robin, but I'm going to make the colors different, I think, to make it a Mythruna robin. Anyway, yeah, I look forward to just painting birds. It's just kind of fun. There was another, so get status, source main resources, it'll tell me what's weird. 30 other birds. Yep. Dir source main resources, rigs, animals. Whoops, dir, not get. Del animals, bird one, that rig, okay. And for some reason, oh yeah, the cardinal feathers. So and so we want to get rid of the male cardinal feathers. So, all right. Yeah, I'm curious to see also, because when I do that, like, I'm going to reduce it down to the image I'm using for the bird. I'm going to reduce it down to 1/4 of its size, which may lose a lot of detail. Our cardinal will either look better or worse, I don't know. Sometimes losing detail actually improves the things, especially when they're small. Alright, so cradle, run, rigger. We want to rig the rig. Continue. See, he's smaller now. And now all of the shapes don't work anymore. And in fact, wow. You know, maybe I won't shrink him down. Plus, we're just kind of arbitrarily setting the scale, which is not necessarily right either. So maybe I will leave him for now and then scale him down in the bird rescale. So we set the scale to 0.4. Yeah, so we don't look at what the current scale is, though we do print it out, so I could look. So let's reload the rig real quick so that I can see the output. Where? Yeah, up here. So the bounding box before scaling, he was almost a meter tall. So this is like the half, so 0.39 times 2, so you know, almost 80 centimeters tall, which is too big, admittedly. But the problem is where I put the root. Alright, so I don't want to get wrapped around the axle on this, but the problem is, like, where I put the root bone, which is what controls where the model is in relation to 0, 0, I put it too high, which means it got scaled too. And like if I show the armature, it's not going to show what I want. This little guy right here, he didn't get scaled, and everybody else did, and so now he's in the wrong place. Whereas if I'd put him on the floor to begin with, everybody'd be related to the floor, and it wouldn't have mattered. But that's a problem for another time. I'm just going to take the scaling out for now, and we'll just scale it down in the game. So if I open the rig again, because I set those all up in the wrong place too. So okay, so he's just going to be a big giant bird, and we'll scale him down, which is not entirely awful. Okay, and we should have set his skin to skin, which means he's colorable. And I think that's it. So we save the rig again just in case, compile the binary, which should put it in the place we want as soon as the log catches up. So animals, birds, bird 1 rig, animals, birds, male cardinal feathers. It all looks good to me. And so now we should be able to put him in the game, which means I need to script some things. I think initially we'll give him the Gayfin AI. Okay, brain. We'll start working. Okay. So there's a standard mobs where we do this bit. And create type bird with, so this is sort of the base type for the bird. Super types, animal, we can probably just cut and paste all this, and instead of saying animals, dog, we'll say birds. One of these days I'm going to standardize. And what did we call it? Bird 1 rig. Yeah, bird rig. It's good. The reason I started with bird 1 here is because it's super likely that I'll have different bird shapes at some point. Like an owl looks different than a regular bird, and there will definitely be owls. Alright, so the object name is bird. The mass, made a Gayfin 10, so let's make birds 5. These aren't real. I meant them to be kilograms initially, and I may still keep that idea, but the physics engine uses them raw, and the math doesn't like real mass in the sense that game physics engines, if you use, well, at least my game physics engine, and it's true of a lot of game physics engines, if you use real mass for things, the math starts to get crazy because you get really wide discrepancies between values, and it makes the math, the small errors in the math get blown out of proportion. And so a lot of games, what they'll do is they'll just have heavy things, light things, and so they'll scale appropriately. And I probably need to standardize that and still use, kilograms here. So agent type, we'll use Gayfin for the moment. Start it as passive, and we won't randomize the coloring at first. We will override pet and talk, and the reason I do this is so that they show up earlier in the inventory, and that way I can do this, so I can try to randomize the coloring. If I just added the randomized coloring action, it would show up first in the menu, and that's not what I want. Okay, so now we've got that. That should allow us to create birds. And I need to test objects. Here we go. This test wand is getting crazy. I may have to prune some old things out of it pretty soon. Bird. Let's put him at the end of the list, and we'll think let's just copy butterfly and put this down after dog. Try to keep them reasonably in order. Bird. So it's a new type. We'll make the bird. We'll make it where we clicked. And we're creating it as all this other stuff. Yeah, we'll let it decay on its own. And so now we should be able to make one. They're going to be ginormous, I think. Yeah, because I didn't scale it down or anything, right? No, it's just scaled 1. Yep, it's going to be ginormous. Okay. Okay, my recollection is that if I put this over here, you guys can still see everything. Yeah, I made a bird template which basically covers all the major sections of the UV with different colors. And so if nothing else, I could hook up the atlas and we could see, you know, the gaudy colored bird and the cardinal, so we could switch skins. I think I'll put the bird on this pedestal. Oh, he's going to act like a Gaithen, which means he's going to try to eat. He doesn't have animations for that. This could go badly. I probably should just give him the butterfly. Alright, so I think, yep. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah, he's... I mean, he gets caught in his animation because he's trying to run animations that he doesn't have. Like he's trying to eat, but look, he's hopping around. Yeah, I think some of that log messages is he's talking about. Yeah, he does not have eat, does not have eat. He probably should have an eat animation. But he's working, and he should have the Gaithen. So if I came running at him, he should. Yeah, squawk, squawk, squawk. Yeah, but he's not running. I probably need to set. Well, that's a. Hey, buddy. Did you get lonely? Let me pet you. Okay, I know you can't come out of there, but you're going to try to come over to me anyway. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. So we've got a giant cardinal following us around. All right. So he needs his own. Yeah, giant cardinal. I think the lag is extra bad on the chat today. I don't know. All right, so it worked, and he's going to decay and despawn himself on his own. Let's try the randomize the coloring thing. Ooh. Okay, so randomize coloring. Boink. Hey, it changed his color. Randomize coloring. It's subtle because he's already so red that nothing but red is going to affect his. We need a grayscale version of his skin. But it is trying to randomize his coloring. It was hard to see, but a subtle shift in color happened. Okay, so he needs his own. I need his own AI and animation set up for nothing else than to take those eat animations out. So what do we want to do first? Do we want to fix his AI or make him skinnable? The thing is, with him acting like a Gaithen, it just is spewing so many logs. All those errors that it's talking about, he doesn't have these animations. Like I could see it going by. Anyway, just have to take my word for it. I could see all these no eat animation. Anyway, okay, so let's remember how to do this. Saying a lot. Alright, so let's go into Sim AI. It is. Let's start with agent driver. We will look for everywhere that says Gaithen. And we will add It's always weird when I hear the work chat, the work Slack go off. And so bird equals type string. This is something I need to move to config before it kills me. Okay, so what do we got? Okay, so I needed to debug his probe, basically. Setting up burb. Setting up the burb animations. Okay, so idle, walk, run, he has rig shape, rig animator, probably wants different parameters. So that's the jog threshold, that's the run threshold. The jog, he never hit the walk. I mean the run. Oh, and he's a jogger. He doesn't have a run yet. Run would be a full-on so jog threshold, run threshold. And so for humans, what do we do? Because they only have jog. No. Okay, so for basic NPC, we don't use the rig animator. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Or maybe defaults are okay. Does rig animator have defaults? No, but we set one up as default. So isn't it fun watching me relearn my code? Okay, body shape, rig shape. We set a default, which is 0.7.7. Then the Gafin, he runs. Alright. We'll leave that for now. But the jog threshold, actually we'll set that down to 0.4. Birds should move slow. We may even set it down lower than that. Okay, so we like that, I don't know if any of that's good because I didn't check before. But anyway, we got a bird. Okay, and we're searching for, oops, Gafin. Okay, so that's one. Okay, and the other one is the brain config. Behaviors. No. It is the brain configurations. Yeah, okay. So we will start. Oh yeah, the Gafin's got a complicated one. Okay, so configure bird. This is another one that he's got to be moved into scripts. Okay. So I can get rid of all this because that's old stuff. We don't need an eat behavior right now. Hunger. Yeah, we don't need to do hunger because we're not going to eat. Lonely is okay. Makes it seek out friends. And found your buddies. And so we don't need a hungry signal. The pet, yeah. All good, all good, all good. Signal idle. We don't need hunger. I need to relook at these. Idle, sit still. Lonely, find the closest and go to him. Someone enters the space. Run away. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Okay, so then is it the agent system? Nope. So let's not open files we don't need. But somebody configures, maybe I've hard-coded it into the brain. I bet I have. Yeah. All right. So if it's a bird, configure the bird. All right. So he shouldn't eat. He should try to jog. He shouldn't run. I think the way to get him to not run is to set the run threshold. That's what that is, right? The run threshold up super high, so that he can never get up to run. He'll only jog. I'm really surprised that the NPCs don't do that. They may just never move fast enough. Okay, so let's see if he behaves at all or if I screwed something up. It's only 10 o'clock. We're only halfway through and I got the bird in the game. That's a good sign. I know I've said that. Things will go horribly, horribly wrong. Continue last world. For those of you who may not already know, the link to download the game is in the upper left corner. You have to type it in because it's like a super secret link, only available to those who can see it and like do the super secret typing it in and putting the secret password of dragon in. Okay, let's look for our bird, Mr. Burb. Mr. Burb, where'd you go? There he is. Boink, boink. So if I run towards him, so what is the probe debug? It's not F10. We're getting a bunch of... Oh, just frame lag. And creating butterflies as I cross back and forth. Okay. So he should have tried to run when I ran up to him. There he goes. He's trying. He can't move fast enough, so let's despawn this one and put it in daytime. Come out here where he has room to run and make another one. So that if I run up to him, hooray! Oh, nope, he doesn't hit the jog threshold. Either that or there's something else going wrong. Okay, but anyway, he's working. I'm getting a lot of... There we go. It's because I crossed the threshold. So why don't you run faster? I mean, he's going pretty fast. Perhaps the thresholds just need to be set different. And I may have him... Probably... Okay, so the Gafen moves slowly. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to check. So is it F12? F12. Yeah, there we go. And then Shift F12? No. Alt F12? There it is. The probe. And what he's looking at. Hey, you see me? Oh, he fell off. Hey, but he collided with the world okay. So that probe probably needs to be moved out a little bit, but we've already talked about how that should be dynamic. But the eye looks good. The looking looks good. Pretty good, yeah. Nice. Okay, so he's doing his thing. Let's set up the atlas. So we can have no driver yet for entity. Oh. So there's a bug in the probe debug state, apparently. So please, I need to remember not to turn that on until I fix that bug. Okay, so all that's set up good for now. I think. I mean, I could tweak it to make him move faster, but I mean, we'll get to where I see it. So this is where I created the thumbnail for tonight's live stream. This is what the texture looks like, because I redid the UV maps to have like separate left and right, which will be good later. All the animals are gonna have to have separate left and right when I want to do the skinning and stuff. Skinning and carving and so on and so forth. To get the ingredients for your food and your potions and your crafting. Model set. I want to see what I did for the butterfly atlas. Animals. Mostly I want to see what the size is. Okay, so apparently, did I do, oh, I made it even 512 by 512. That's pretty small. This is 1024 by 1024. And so, like, not only would by shrinking it into by a quarter each way, I have to go another. No, so I think maybe for the birds, we'll do 1024 by 1024. We just won't have as many of them. All right, so new. We want to make 1024 by 1024. Call it the bird atlas. And yeah, we'll create it with white background, that's fine. And we will, so if I select all and I go select new layer and we say grid, and then I go stroke, make a thin little inside stroke. So if we do this, you maybe can't see it, but I made a black line around the edge. And this will allow me to line them up properly in the other. So maybe we C, Control C, Control B. Oh, Image, edit, transform, scale, 25%, shrink. So we will put it up here. Boink. So I'm okay. Good. It kept the line, just made it gray. I'm okay with that. All right. So then let's also, and when I save it, I'm going to do this. But there's, anyway, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Then we want to load birds. No, Blender, animals, birds base feathers.png. So Control C. See, this one's already got a border. And so then we will edit, transform again. We will put it down here, because that's typically where I put the template, is down there. And we could actually... No, I want black to be anywhere that we haven't mapped, so that's fine. And while we're here, let me go ahead and duplicate this layer. So let's say, oops, save myself some sanity later. Male. Cardinal gray. Do I want to spell gray with an E or what? Okay, so template. Okay. So we'll move this cardinal over here. And we will make an adjustment layer. Layer, new, adjustment layer, hue saturation, and, oh, nope, hue was fine, I'm just being silly. It's the saturation we want to take down. There we go. Alright. So, okay. So now we will do save as PSD. Not screenshot thumbnails. That is not, it's not at all where we want this. We want it in brain no work. Brain start working. There we go. I think I want to keep it with this. Save. And then we will export as PNG. Bird Atlas. Sure. Okay. I think that's all good. I can get rid of this. And now, some more magic. Which is right around here. Butterfly post proc. We want to do more than just that, but we will do that. Start with their bird post proc dot groovy. It's groovy, man, groovy. Alright, so butterfly atlas, we want to make oh, it was male cardinal source main resources, animals, birds, male cardinal feathers.png, male cardinal feathers.png. We will replace with bird atlas.png. Default to the first cell of the atlas. Yes, yes sir, yes sir. Indeed, that's what we want. And bird rig needs to have the same thing as the butterfly rig, but obviously from a different place. And so bird post proc dot groovy, and then also the butterfly rig, not the butterfly rig, yes, the butterfly rig gets these initializers. Okay, so right after the blends. Yeah, okay. Models, animals, bird. Source path. Right? Models, animal, bird. Yes. Target path, animals, bird. Right? Animals, birds. That's not going to cause me problems later. Bird rig setup.groovy, and then we need to copy butterfly rig setup and make a bird rig setup.groovy. So this is the script that runs on the rig when it's loaded, and in this case sets up the skin to be a texture atlas when the skin variation is set. So it's basically setting up some customizations on the rig that gets loaded into the game, and we'll just use the same 4x4 kind of texture atlas as the butterfly does. And so then Pepsi's all gone. Alrighty. Open the rig, open the bird. Okay, he's all set up. His wings are going to be a problem. I may have to just use little thin ones because it's like taking up too much space. Anyway, it's fine. I need to. So compile the binary. Let's see if it's going to. Whoa, all kinds of problems. All right. Bird rig setup.groovy. Source main resources, animals, birds. What did I do wrong? Source main resources, animals, birds. Oh, it needs to be, Oh. You're supposed to copy it over. So when I run again, is it going to fix itself? Basically, it was telling me it's not finding the script I just added in the target location. It's supposed to copy that. So I'm supposed to be able to go here. Maybe it does it on save rig. And then compile binary. No. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. So if I do search main resources, animals, birds. Yeah. Main. Rigger. Models, animals, birds. Do source main resources, animals, birds. If I copy it directly, will it work? So that's a bug in the rigging tool. I'm going to standardize Atlas setup so I don't have to use a script anyway, but something I have to fix. Okay, so then compile the binary. Nope. Now it's failing for a different reason. Source main resources, animals, birds. Bird rig setup.groovy. The system cannot find the file specified. Source main resources, animals, birds. Bird. Oh, Berg rig setup. Well, that could be the issue then, eh? Yep, there we go. File save as. So maybe it's not a bug and it was just will delete the old one just to save my sanity, and we will see if it's a source main resources, animals, birds, bird rig setup. You've chopped 50 trees down tonight in your medieval dynasty. You ever played Kenshi? I was watching some YouTube videos of people playing Kenshi, and it looks like that dude, that's another one guy project that's way ambitious. He's been working on a long time. But yeah, so do copy the scripts. I'm good. I just have to spell them correctly. But the thing I thought was cool is the way he's done the system so that they kind of interact. That's exactly where I'm going. You know, rather than set up specific things, he sets up systems and then they just kind of evolve into gameplay, which I think is neat. It's exactly what I'm heading for. Standard mobs. And so we want to test objects. Randomize appearance. Oh, see, it does. It was setting skin variations. We just weren't doing anything with them. And that is why the skin color wasn't changing. Nice. Yeah, this Kenshi's like an open world RPG, and I guess it's pretty brutal. I just watched one like short playthrough where you can like pick different starting locations in the world, and this guy started out as a slave to some like religious cult, and like they tell you, you know, when you get into the world, head to your cage right away or you're going to be in trouble. And yeah, if you don't head to your cage, the guards come over and beat you. But one of the examples of the emergent systems is apparent. I guess the guards will treat you like a slave if you're dressed like a slave and you have the, you know, the collar on and stuff like that. And so one of these guys figured out how to pick the locks and get out of their cells, and so they went over and put all of their clothes on one of the guards, and when he came out, the other guards like beat him and treated him like a slave and put him in a cell. And I was like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff. That's it right there, right? Okay, so the bird randomization has to be different. Oh, that's just randomized coloring, because that was just the Gafen. Ah, we will do randomize appearance instead. And so we will pick between, right now, we will pick between 3 different ones. If index equals 1, then we'll set index equal to 3. Else if index equals, because we've only got the spread out, so index equals 15. You know, we've only got the sparse laid out. This is, you know, cell 0, 1, 2, cell 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 15. So we don't have any in here, so we can't do the whole row thing like the butterflies do. But we can do this thing as if it's the third one, then we'll do the random RGB. Skin variation should work, and so randomize appearance should work, but we will always start him out as a regular cardinal. So let's see if it works. Bum, 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 bum. But then since I watched that one Kenshi video, I've seen YouTube has recommended a bunch to me, and I haven't watched them because I'm sure that's like a bottomless pit of stuff, because eventually you can build your own bases. Not like Minecraft building your own bases. I guess it's more like there's already a building and you can like outfit it with your own furniture and stuff kind of thing. Oh, I did not save. Shoot. I can see the red right up there. Okay, come on. So you're doing the thing that I don't want you to do because I'm about to redo the script that, anyway, I probably could just do this. I hate to kill the game in the middle. It leaves it in like weird states sometimes. And then I have to wonder, you know, is it going to die when I've got 3 Java processes running. If I do that, are all of them? So now we've just got the one, which is probably the Great Old Demon. Alright, I just don't like to leave extra Mythrunas running around in the background if I can avoid it. They can be kind of expensive, processor-wise. Although idling in the lobby is probably fine. Alright, let's see if we can randomize the appearance of a bird. Alright, so let's come on time so that the YouTubers can see. Okay, hello Burb. Oh wait. Okay, I'm gonna walk so that you don't get scared when I come up to you. And I'm gonna right click on you and I'm gonna say, why can I not randomize? Because it's lowercase. So sorry, Burb. Oh yeah. Another thing I have to fix is the shadows. It's less of a problem with like the Gayfin, but the add action. So if I don't have like a capitalized version with no arguments, it doesn't make a menu option, right? It's just an internal scripting action. But what was I talking about a second ago? Must have been really important. What was it? I don't know. I should stop interrupting myself and let my thought finish before I interrupt it. If anybody was paying attention enough to what I was saying to want to know what the next thought was going to be, they could remind me what I started. If you don't care to hear what the end of the sentence was, that doesn't matter. It's been a long week. I've been doing performance optimization at work, and so that's a certain sort of focus. I've been looking forward to this long weekend to do some stuff around the house and get some Mythruna coding done. I'm kind of excited if we'll have some birds in the game. Come on. Here we go. Oops, let's pause time. I guess, oh no, there he is. Hey birdie. Let's walk so you don't get scared of us. There we go. Alright, reset, or randomize appearance. Boink. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, frick. Yeah, so this is the point where I make stupid mistakes. Maybe I was saying... No, that was what I said to interrupt myself. So what I have to here is say new... So there's no non-rand version of this, so when I called it, it couldn't find the... And so now we get to watch the game start up again. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, point is my brain's a little fried. I did get a process that took 10.5 minutes to run with some simple optimization. I was able to get it down to 2.5 minutes, which I think is pretty significant. That's at work, not on Mythruna. Nothing in Mythruna takes 10.5 minutes to run, knock on wood. I don't think you guys would wait 10 minutes for world generation, even if it created like social security numbers for every character in the game and stuff. I think it would just be overkill. I can't do it incrementally. So in the long run though, world generation, one of the tricks I'm going to use to mitigate the world generation time is you spend some time in the lobby creating your character. Once you create a world, you have to create at least one character, and so you spend some time in the lobby there creating a character, and I will start generating the world in the background. And as character creation gets more complicated, oh, there's some seams. I've got to fix the seams. You guys might not have noticed, but he's got seams on his back there that you can see through. Doing power apps, I spent quite a... Oh, this sounds familiar to me, Power Query. Anyway, so during startup where you're creating your character, so the longer the more involved character creation gets, the more free time I get in the background to generate that first world, the starting part of the world. But the other thing is I'm going to entice you because as it generates the world, the intent is to have like a place you can look where random lore pops up as it learns things about the world, like, hey, there's a desert to the far east or something, these different things. And so there's some incentive to go slow and like watch some of that lore pop in. So that by the time you actually get into the game, maybe most of the world is generated. Okay, let's see if we can randomize his appearance. Randomize appearance. Oh, he hit the template. So that's the template. Let's see if we can randomize appearance again. Okay, he hit the template again. No, that's not right. Okay, so he's grayscale but colored red. No, is that not true? Oh. No, bad things are happening. Okay, so yeah, so he's grayscale colored red, now he's grayscale colored purple. And now I think he's the regular thing but colored blue. There's something wrong in my logic. But anyway, it's working. Yeah, I agree. And even just a little variety, a little coloration variety within the one. But this looks great. Like just coloring a regular cardinal with a little bit of blue. I think that looks great. That's an exotic bird on some island, really, right? So I mean, like already we got some cool stuff. And there's the template again. Yeah, so it's just, it seems to be hitting a lot of the same. I'm not convinced that the logic is working correctly. So let's make another bird. So that's the starting. Let's make another one. Now they have friends. Minimize. Okay, so see, he turned brown, so that's working. And now he turned blue. Minimize appearance. Now he's like a greenish color. Now he's the template. Oh, so one of the things is if it had a skin color and it goes to the template, that it's going to keep that skin color. It doesn't reset the... Oh, that's a cool looking one. Yeah, so we've got like 3 different looking birds. Like that looks like a real bird. Like there's a bird that has that coloring. I'm trying to think what it is. I'll take a picture. Maybe not with the cardinal eyes, but not bad. I like it. So now I got to create another bird because they're gonna join each other. Hey, check it out! I got a whole flock of birds. Okay, so I don't like that. I mean, it's fine, but it's boring. Oh, that's crazy. Oh no. Okay, so you're just super saturated red. Hey, there's a butterfly. Hello, butterfly. Okay, so that didn't actually change anything. I mean, the thing about randomization is we get potentially the same dice roll every time. With such limited choices. Okay, so that's a kind of cool gray bird. So anyway, we've got lots of birds, and that's working. I'm not sure what else I want to do tonight. You know, I need to fix their animations. I need to fix some random things, but for the most part, this is pretty cool already. You guys don't go in the water, okay? You can't fly. You're stuck on the... Here, I'll give you a little nudge, and I'm going to reset your color, because I don't... You look a little too gray. Okay, come on. You're stuck on the thing. There you go. He's camouflaged. Yeah, but that brownish blue one, that's really pretty. I have to remember that. Oh, see, here's another. That's another one of the purplish red ones. I like that too. Boink 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 boink. There we go. Lots of birds seeing each other and cooing at each other. Set some of them random. It's funny how it's not, though. Oh, because I mean, it could be rolling a 0 every time, and then yeah. I need to let it still do the... Oh no, that is kind of sad. We get a lot of, I see a lot of live rabbits. I haven't seen any dead ones. We get them all the time in our backyard. Although I did see like a hawk or something come and snatch one out of the, not a rabbit, I think it was a squirrel. Was it a rabbit? Out of our side yard, not our backyard. But I was there and this big bird came down and just scooped something up. It was crazy. That is nature. There we go. Hey, that's prettier. I like that. You really could blend right in. Yeah, look at you. You're a pretty bird. You're a pretty bird. Alright, so we've got birds. And the randomization is needs a little work. We need some more skins. But it's working, and I like it. And they're kind of neat. So, cool. Let's let the dog come chase him around. Hey, doggy. What you doing? Stop walking into the... Stop walking into the wall. There you go. Why are you walking into the wall? Silly doggy. Here, I'll pet you. Come on. Come on. Do you want to come say hi? Yeah, come say hi. Yeah. Pretty boy. Pretty girl. Yeah, you look like my doggy. I miss my doggy. Oh yeah, the birds are flocking together. They're gonna all end up in the water here pretty soon. Actually, one of them might already be in the water. Nope. Hey, you are. I need to make the, yeah, so some of those need to be double-sided because you can actually not see the tuft from the back of the head. Like if you go, it's, you can see through it. Woof woof. Alright, so we've got birds. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else tonight but play with birds, to be honest. I might, let's say the dog is just going to get worse and worse there. Yeah, I'm going to probably play with their AI a little bit. I need to shrink them down, obviously, but I got to do that in... I got to start with Blender and redo all of the rigging. I'm not sure you guys want to not redo all the rigging. I got to move the root bone and move the root bone. Make sure Blender's okay with that. Re-export to GLTF. Go back in. Reset the scaling, which means I need to reset all of my the sizes of my things because, well, you know, maybe it's always good to post scale. Anyway, I had to sort that out. Man, some of these look really pretty. I think I said that already though. Let's make you. What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be? You're gonna walk into me and knock me off the cliff. Where? I need to mess with the randomize. There we go. That's a cool color. Yeah, so what happens is when I set it like to one of the grayscale skins, it sets the skin color, and then when it sets it back to the regular cardinal skin, it still keeps that skin color, which is a bug, but it's a bug that lets us see the different variations in color and stuff, which is kind of cool. But I need to just let it do random colors for any of them, just to play with that, because I think that's neat. Turns out to be kind of cool. And I may need to let random color even come in for the butterflies. You're gonna drown. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there are a bunch in here. You guys. Oh yeah, there's our blue guy over here. Yeah, the fly animation never kicks in. So that's something else I gotta figure out. Yeah, and the seams. So, okay, so I know how to fix the seams. Underwater bird, yeah. So there's this trick you can use. What's happening is that the texture sampling, when we get close, you know, is finding the nearest, and it's sampling next to, it samples sort of next to the edge. right, where the seams are, and gets these semi-transparent areas. So one thing you can do in those cases is you can go control. Oh, this is going to be interesting. How do I think I can merge these together. Yeah, okay, cool. Though the hope was, anyway, it's easy. That's easy. Never mind. Control C, Control V. Uh-oh. Yeah. So, Photopia has this weird thing, or it's probably the browser that actually has the problem. Where the it pulls weird things from the clipboard sometimes when you paste, and so I have to like Control C a bunch of times. So anyway, you take a layer in the background and you go in here with the filter. We want to do a Gaussian blur, not that much, just a bit. Let's do a 3 pixel Gaussian blur. Is that going to be enough? And so then you can bring back your other layers and you have this sort of background. And you don't, and so, but you want it dark, so you duplicate it a bunch of times, right? And so then every time you come in, you can do that. So that should fix our problem. Of course, it made a new one, but let's save as PSD. Save, yes, overwrite. Export as PNG. Bird Atlas, save. Save, yes, overwrite. Now we're going to want to redo the rig so it recopies the stuff. Oops. Does Gradle run work? Oh, I guess it does. I should have to run the rigger. It's interesting. This will be my last act as a for the evening, I think, is to fix these seams. So we ought to be able to check in here. Yeah, so see no seams now. Because now there's a border around. So anywhere there's a, you know, different edges that have different UV values that meet, and it samples outside of the texture, it gets a nice blurry version. Oh, but you know what? It also, yeah, that's unfortunate. It's also blurring our edges we don't want blurred. So I can't do that blindly. I have to keep the feather edges, because now if you look at the wings, they're going to be the same way. Yeah, so it took off, it like made these weird transparencies around all of our scalloping. So nothing's ever 100% simple, right? But it's easy to turn back off again. So is this how I want to go about this then? It's good for everything. So the other trick, I'm full of tricks. So the other trick would be to take everything, Control V, and since it's below, since all of our transparency except for the tufts is on, it's not all on the bottom though, is it? So what I was thinking is I could do is I could cut and paste that and then you know, move it up a few pixels, but that screws with these sides too. So you know, I may actually have to go and do this the hard way. Yeah, that's unfortunate. figure out basically and I'll have to do well. Every bird will be a little different, so it's not too bad that I have to do it for every one of them. But I'll have to redo this. Yeah, so maybe that's beyond what we want to do here. But so like the easy way to do it would be to come in here and with the eraser tool and maybe not as big of an eraser tool. Just come in here and sort of blank out the parts you don't want the effect. Okay, so that's fixed that wing, right? I think we do want it there. So we come through here. Oh, I left a big old block of stuff there. This there's a little bit of doo-doo in the wings there, so it's interesting. Alright, so we'll carve these out too. And I'm gonna leave the grayscale messed up for the moment. So this one only has it on the bottom, I think. But that's okay, it only joins with something at the top, so we'll go ahead and see, only at this part does it join with the rest of the body. There's a whole lot of, this reminds me of like an insect actually. There's a whole lot of this kind of art that's just this kind of tedious stuff. I feel like, and you learn tricks, but every now and then you just got to do it. Okay, so I suspect I'm going to want to still have that blur on the front of the wing like I do for this one. But if you're viewing the front of the edge of the wing, you're already in trouble. Yeah, so the other thing is because yeah, so this one, the black will show through, that's fine, I decided I wanted that. Yeah, so I'm not going to correct that one for now, because we'll be able to see the difference. Save as PSD. Save, yes. Export as PNG. Save, yes. And we will try again. Hopefully you guys saw what I was talking about in the game, because I didn't show you in the rigger. But like the back of the bird had seams between the different parts where the UVs were separate. So it should still be okay now, and yeah, there's some little doo-doo I gotta clean up. That's like bleeding into the tail, but we don't have any seams here, we're good. The tail looks okay from a distance. Again, I've gotta clean that little doo-doo up there. And then the wings are looking pretty good. The wing-a-ding things. Like Trogdor. Alright, and oh, I have to clean up the crest too. Yeah. Thing is, like, if I'm gonna be making screenshots or something later, I'm gonna want all this cleaned up. So yeah, so I need to, in fact, let's fix the wing too. It was the tail. The tail was picking up this actually. And that's what it's picking up, the grid line. So if I come over here, oh, yeah, and I left, oh, so the other thing is I left that other, that's probably screwing something up too. I left that other copy of the, not just the blurred one, but the other one too, so. But anyway, we want to, up here, come and take this out. So it's okay to have grid lines, but not when they interfere with the rest of the model. Okay, and then up here, I want to be careful where we do this. Oops, no, wrong. Be more careful than that, Paul. I was editing the wrong layer completely. Okay, so just from here to here, and then like that, and then like that, and that should be fine. Okay, that is okay. Yeah, see, this looks like a moth to me, the way it's fuzzy with the wings. If you look at moths really close, they're kind of fuzzy. Save it. Save it. Yes, replace it. Run the rigger. Always got to run the rigger because we got to resave everything, and it exports it in the format that the game likes, and then copies over the textures and so on, and whatnot and so forth. Bird. Okay, so the tail should be nice now. We'll zoom in, we'll move down a little bit. Tail looks as good as it did before, at least. Yeah, so there's like some place where it cuts off, so I need to come in and, anyway, it's fine. Look, from back here, it looks great. I need to stop worrying over things. Yep, so we've got our little tufts back. Yep, and from the back side you can't see it. That's another problem. Something's wrong with the front. I think it's just that I haven't cut it down enough. That's not a new problem. So let's compile the binary. Double check that it looks correct in the game. And while that's happening, if you guys have any final questions, since there's just one of you left, according to YouTube's, because I already talked about how I'd be wrapping it up, I guess. Anyway, if you are watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and so on. If you have ideas for future topics of videos, please drop them in. They don't always have to be on my roadmap, though that tends to be what I lean towards. But if there's ever any explainers you guys want, let me know, and I can spend some part of some stream explaining something with potentially diagrams and stuff if I'm warmed enough ahead of time. And so let's see if the birds have been fixed. So Oak is still around, or Oak was around at least a moment ago. According to Sim, he's my last concurrent viewer, I guess. Alright, so did we fix the seams? Yes, we fixed the seams. No more seams in the back. I was pretty sure, but you know, now I'm sure in the game. So that all works. I wish we could get them to fly in here, but that's maybe tomorrow's problem. Alright, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me while we got the birds in, and they're a bunch swimming around in the water. They're all going to drown, but that's okay. They're going to despawn in 5 minutes anyway. So thanks for joining. Let's go ahead and say the thanks stuff. So thanks. Like, comment, subscribe. It really does make a difference. It certainly makes me feel better. I also like having conversations in the YouTube just because it makes the video look more interesting to people who happen to drop by and maybe they have their own questions. Thanks again to the patrons. It really is important. You guys don't know. All right. So I will see you guys next week. Have a productive week, and check out the Discord and the download.